come up with a big hole.
Steve Kraigseth, speaking of being in the hole, he's standing at his own 7-yard line. Kick is away, it's blocked. Partially blocked by Mater, and it's going to be picked up and downed out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. Number 60, Mark Fisher, picked it up on the run. A credit Mike Mater, number 54, who got a paw on it.
Boy, I don't even know if Kraigseth saw him coming. He sure took a sweet time about getting that one off. He was just calm, cool, and collected, went back to punt the ball, and he blocked it. It just looked like it took way too much time to get that off.
Well, a couple of big guys, Mater the nose guard, and Mark Fisher, a backup linebacker, fields it on the run, and the Cougars are in business. 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 22, a big, big play. Mayer, play action fake. He's rolling right. He's got a lot of room. He's going to throw it. He's got Feeblecorn at the 15. Feeblecorn inside the 15 to about the 14.
Well, there I had mentioned he's mostly a drop-back quarterback, but evidently to get away from some of the heat he's been taking, he's going to roll out. Tom Rapps couldn't quite get to him. Then he has the option to run or pass. That's a difficult play to defend. And then he just hits him. You know, you really don't want to have your defense on there for a nice long series and get the ball back, or have to punt and have to give up a break like UMD has. You at least want to make them work for it. If they're going to have a drive, make it a 30, 40-yard drive. So UMD has their backs to the wall now.
Right at the 15, 2nd down and 3. Handoff goes to Hickman. Hickman, he's going to be down near the 10, and he will have a Cougar 1st down. Hickman, a man who gained over 180 yards last week in Morris's victory over Bemidji. You mentioned that Bemidji had pretty much taken the passing game away, but they showed a lot of offensive versatility by running for over 250 yards.
Well, that's one thing that people don't know about Morris. Their total offense, they lead the NIC, and they're averaging 532 yards a game, rushing 208, passing 324. You see they have the 1st down. And scoring, they average 35.3 points a game. Ay, ay, ay.
Quite a contingent from Morris making the road trip to the Port Cities this weekend.
Well, it's a big football game, and Minnesota Morris is rich in football tradition. They have the football 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 12-yard line. A great opportunity here to tie this one up. Mayer rolling out, throws out quickly. He's got his man Hickman. Hickman's going to be down inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. Didn't get much, but he did get something.
Well, UMD is trying to blitz that time, and as you see Todd Hickman there, the only thing is you get caught in a blitz, and you're probably going to end up not with a 10-yard gain, but with 7 points on the board. But then you sit back, and they may take advantage of your defense anyway, so it's a gamble either way.
Huber and Kalkman both go wide to the left side this time. Hickman's going to get the call around the right side. He's going to be down to about the 5-yard line. Tackled there by Shydock, who came up from the cornerback position.
One thing different about this series is the last time when Morris was in our territory is that if they do not get the 1st down here, or do not get the touchdown here, that they'll probably be looking at a field goal, and the field goal is going to be a lot closer than it was before. UMD needs a big play here for a sack or interception or a fumble would be nice.
Keep in mind that Morris can get a 1st down at about the 2-yard line. Right now it's 3rd down and 3. Mayer over the middle. He's got his man Ross for a touchdown.
Fairly predictable call. Lee Ross on a quick hitter over the middle, and Mayer's thrown that pass a dozen times if he's thrown it once.
Well, he's the one they like to go to. He's a big, tough guy. He's a big target out there. Nice play by Morris, and capitalize on a UMD falter. And here you see it right here. Just Mayer's going to take it and look for number 86. Stops back, boom, right across the middle, and that's hit the split to seam. It's pretty tough to stop.
The kick is up, and it is good, and Minnesota Morris has tied this key NIC encounter, and we'll be back in just a moment.
What's black and white and red all over? We'll show you. This new Toshiba copier makes crisp, clear, edge-to-edge copies. But with just one touch, it changes color to make crisp, clear, edge-to-edge copies in red, or blue, or brown. Toshiba's Chroma Touch copier, the copier that changes color. Presto, changeo. And that's big news.
A Available at Collier Business Equipment in Duluth and Mesabi Office Equipment in Hibbing.
Well, football games can change in complexion in a hurry, and the block kick pays off for Minnesota Morris. They drive 22 yards for the tying touchdown. It's 7-7 with 13:37 left to go in the second quarter.
Plus, that's a big emotional lift for Morris. I mean, they were down, and UMD was doing a nice job on defense. They were moving the ball on offense. When they block a punt like that, pretty soon they're back in the game, or as Mulaski would say, they start thinking that they can beat us. And you let a good team like Morris get their spirits up, and they're going to have a tough afternoon, as it's going to be tough anyway.
Big Brad Johnson in to kick off. Corey Beach, Mike Petrich deep. High kick. Beach is going to run up and take it at his own 13. Beach up to the 30-yard line before he's tackled there, and that's where the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10, and we'll see what they can do now that they have given up some points.
Well, I think they're just going to have to go right back with what was working before. They're going to have to hit the quick hitters, mix it in with a pass. There's plenty of time left. We've got 13:33 left before the half. They just have to get their ground game established, and every once in a while throw in a pass and march down and get another long drive going. What Morris wants to do is make sure if they're going to be slanting and biting in there, they better go the right way.
They continue to go with the double tight end formation. Corey Beach coming in motion. Inside handoff, big hole, Mike Lowy. Mike Lowy over the 40 to about the 43-yard line. So the big fullback out of Cherry High School via Hibbing, Minnesota gets a big first down.
He hit that hole really nice, and as I said, you hit those seams right, you're not going to get 3 yards, you're going to get 7 to 10. We have some stats. Rushing yards in the first quarter, UMM 5, UMD 88, passing 49 for Morris, 0 for UMD, 54 and 88. Time of possession, 9:23 to 5:03.
Mulaski, play action fake. Mulaski wants to go, and it's going to be intercepted. He wanted to go to Craig Greenwald, but number 51, Skip Shapersky, the linebacker, was right there.
Well, he tried to kind of cradle it in there a little bit. He threw a little bit under a little bit. We've got some penalty markers down, but that was after the interception, so the interception will stand.
Mike Mader took a run at Jim Mulaski there, guys, after the interception. Jim Mulaski making sure that that reception wasn't going anywhere, and they exchanged the proverbial unpleasantries, if you will.
Well, that's a tough break, too, because it was a nice play-action fake on that. He had all the time in the world, and we were just talking about the maturity, and he just kind of tried to... If you're going to thread the needle, you got to fire the ball in there, and he really didn't do it that time.
Well, you mentioned the fact that Mulaski was clocked afterwards. They will march it off now, but Morris will maintain possession.
Personal foul.
Well, if you're from the defensive team, you got to like that a little bit. There we see Morris sidelines. There's number 51 who...
That's Skip Shapersky. He's the man who got the interception.
And look, he almost bobbled that thing. See, it was thrown so softly that surprised him a little bit.
Well, the Cougars will have it 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. The last time they had their hands on the football, they went 22 yards for the tying touchdown. Turnovers will kill you. Mayer lofting one down the right side, intended for Kalkman, but covered stride for stride very well by Jeff Scheidak.
There's a nice little article in the paper on Scheidak this week. He's a tremendous athlete. I've played at Grand Marais. I remember coaching against him at Grand Marais. Just a nice kid, works hard. There he had him covered like a blanket on a man-to-man. The only thing you got to make sure is when you're covered that close, you got to make sure you look for the ball when the receiver looks for the ball.
Scheidak, one of very few Bulldogs who has played every game starting as a freshman and missed only one game in his entire collegiate career. Mayer blitzes on. He throws over the middle. He's got his man Paul Huber at the 35.
Didn't Scheidak miss a Moorhead State game on his birthday?
Missed a Moorhead State game 2 weeks ago on his birthday with the flu. He didn't start that game, but he did come in the 4th quarter and play a little bit, so I guess technically he has never really missed a game.
I remember wishing him happy birthday that day, too. That was just a little short slant-in pattern that time. They caught the UMD blitzing. They filled the blitzing hole with a pass. Mayer does a nice job of picking apart defenses.
Keep in mind the personal foul penalty. It is still 3rd down and a whole bunch. Mayer, he needs a whole bunch, and he's going to go down. Mark Turcotte wraps him up for the sack. And Minnesota Morris is going to have to punt.
Well, in talking to Malosky this week, I asked him about blitzing, and he said, well, we'll blitz when we feel the need that we have to. We wouldn't like to. You see Mark Turcotte out of Duluth. He got credit with a tackle, but the reason he did again is because somebody had to pick up those blitzing linebackers. I asked him about that. Asked Malosky, well, do you think you're going to do that a little bit more? And he said, gee, I don't know, and he's been doing it quite a bit today.
Well, Ross back deep in his territory at about the 13. Pretty good rush. The kick is away. It's a low end-over-end job. Veach is going to take it at the 38, and he's going to be tackled at about the 42-yard line. Nonetheless, UMD with pretty good field position, so the turnover did not hurt them once again.
You know that's the thing. There's been 3 turnovers, and eventually they're going to get a score on one of them. And the one that they did get a score on, they're deep in our territory. So the defense still has to be proud. It's just I'd be awfully mad at that offense for turning the ball over so many times, and they have to get something going here.
11:39 left to go before halftime. It's 7-7 in this key NIC ball game at Griggs Field. Handoff goes to Veach. Veach trying to sweep around the right side. He may get a yard or 2 on the play, but that's about it. Shapersky, number 51, the linebacker, there to make the big tackle.
I think one thing that Malosky Jr. has to do is he has to get right back on that bicycle that threw him off. He has to go to the air, and I'm sure Jim will still have all the confidence in the world in him. You're going to see him maybe on this play do a rollout pass or a 23 special pass, 18 or 19 sprint out pass. All UMD plays have play action, as you probably all well know.
Gain of only a yard on the play. This time Lowy gets the call. Lowy gets to about the 45, and that's about it. All of a sudden, the Minnesota Morris front 4 is beginning to stiffen.
They sure are. They're doing a whale of a job right now. It's interesting, you know, that we talked about the game's complexion changing. Well, the team's the offense and defense changes too, and started out the Bulldog defense dominating. I tell you, the Cougars rising to the occasion now on their defense as well.
And you'll see their linebackers are being a little more active. They're filling that. Shapersky's doing a good job in it.
Handoff goes to Veach. Veach, nothing fancy. Second man through, gains a couple, far short of the first down. So the Bulldogs, 1, 2, 3, and they're going to have to punt.
It's like Jim Malosky Jr. will elect not to ride the bike until next series.
Well, I'd get him on the bike anyway, for crying out loud. I don't know. I think a lot of people probably get impatient, say throw the ball a little bit more, but it's you still have a lot of time left, and at 7-7, you don't want to make any more big mistakes, I suppose, but you can bet he'll put the ball up in the air. It doesn't really do much for his passing yardage today. I don't know if he has any yet.
Veith, number 24, and Kalkman, number 83, back to receive the punt. Kraigseth's kick is away, but it's not a very good one. Went off the side of his foot, and it goes out of bounds at about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Cougars will take over 1st and 10.
I think Kraigseth's a little gun shy. He realized last one was blocked, so he thought, I'm going to hurry this one a little bit, and he got off a poor punt.
We have not seen a whole lot of good punting at all, not your textbook punting anyways, that can establish a good defensive field position.
By either team.
Exactly.
And you can't blame the conditions because there's very little wind here this afternoon and a beautiful sunshiny afternoon.
You could even wax your car on a day like this, after the game, of course.
Dale Mayer back to pass as he usually does. He's got his man, Bill Kalkman, up over the 40-yard line. Another one of those square-in patterns. Claflin and Scheidock made the tackle, but not before he had enough for a first down.
You tell the defensive backs, make sure you read the quarterback's eyes. He was looking straight over that time the whole way. The only thing is, it's pretty tough to read the quarterback's eyes while your man's running a pattern.
From the 42, 1st and 10 for the Cougars. This time Hickman gets the call offensively. Patoshnik, number 84, makes the tackle after a gain of 2.
Now you can see why UMD leads the NIC in rushing defense. They do a great job. They're also second against passing defense in the NIC, which says an awful lot for those 11 guys that are out there right now.
Mayer over the middle. He's got his tight end Ross on that all-familiar quick pass, and it's going to be up to about the 48-yard line.
Well, there's nothing wrong with you know, if you're going to give them that short slant, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you don't give them the first down.
I think they'll be content to give them those.
3rd down and a long 3. Bulldogs showing blitz. Mayer is going to roll out. Mayer's going to run it himself, and he's going to have enough for the first down and then some inside the 40.
I tell you what, I really like this Dale Mayer from what I've seen of him so far today. He's got all the poise in the world. Drop back there, he alertly sees that nothing's open, and then really does the job well. He's a major league prospect.
Well, I'll tell you what Mark Turcotte, what Tom Raps is going to have to make sure that he doesn't take an inside bite on his pass rush. That's the 2nd time in a row. When he gets by Raps, he has a lot of room out there. He has to make sure he contains, and I'm sure Miloski told him that all week. It's just he got caught inside.
Really no man's land out there.
1st and 10 at the Bulldog 38. The Cougars on the move. This game is tied 7-7. Batted down, and it's almost picked off. Tom Raps got a big paw on it, and Wade Preston just couldn't quite get there for the interception.
That's one thing they teach, too. If you're going to rush a passer, don't be leaving your feet. Just get your hands up in the air. And I'll tell you what, you got Tom Raps at 6'5". He sticks his hands up in the air. That goes at least 12 feet in the air.
At least. Big bird.
Well, Mayer has had time to pass in the last couple of possessions. That's been the key. Straight drop. And he's got his man Kaufman, a nice diving catch by the sideline marker. Scheidock had do nothing that time.
Really a pro set.
Rather.
Really a pro set, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, it is. They go through a pro set, they go to a divide, and they go with a flank or with a split. They throw all kinds of different things, and the thing is, when they have 5 receivers out, and you're in a zone, and UMD runs a zone and man-to-man combination, if you're man-to-man on your side of the field, you have to make sure that your coverage doesn't get by you to go, if he does an out and up. If you're in the zone coverage, you have to make sure that they don't split the seam. So, and with a passer like Mayer, it makes it pretty difficult.
They're going to be about a length of a football short of a first down. It's 3rd down and about a foot.
7:45 remaining in the 2nd quarter. We invite you to stay with us at halftime. Take a look at Jim Miloski Jr. and Jim Miloski Sr., how their coach relationship works out on the gridiron. Take a look at the prep football preview, prep football playoff watch as the high school ranks grind down. So, and then halftime highlights and statistics coming your way at halftime.
Cougars, this time they have a double tight end formation. They want to get the necessary yardage for the first down, keep this drive alive. Oh, it's going to be tackled close to a first down. I'll tell you one thing, Mayer barely got that ball handed off because Potoshnik was right on top of him. Hickman lurched forward, and I think he might have enough for a first down. Maybe not. He might be about a foot shy yet.
You okay, Lee?
I'm okay. I just thought that, I thought Potoshnik was going to go on that. He just disguised that blitz. It was just perfect, and I thought he had him. That was a big gamble by Potoshnik, and boy, he had that just timed perfectly. That was, excuse me, I'm okay now. That was tremendous.
I get the IV going here.
I don't care if you got him or not. I like that one.
Double tight power eye on 4th and a foot. Hickman dives forward. Looks like he's got it.
I think you're right, Steve. I think he had it. That was a great, still a great job by UMD. As we see there, he has the first down. Really, to stop something like that, you have to get supreme penetration. You have to really hit the guy before he gets the line of scrimmage, and he just didn't do it that time. But
doesn't help that he's 200 pounds and 5'11", too. Pretty low center of gravity coming through there big time.
Pretty tough to stop.
1st and 10 at the Bulldog 27-yard line. Minnesota Morris looking to take the lead. Mayer. He's got Hickman down to about the 20-yard line. Nevela came up along with Claflin to make the tackle.
You know, I know passes like that will kill you, nickel and dime and everything, but Bulldogs have to really be content with that because Jim Miloski says, the coach Jim Miloski says, if we can contain Mayer, we'll do well. We don't want to shut him down because you're never going to shut him down, but if they can contain him, 4 or 5 yards is still the defense really doing all they can and stopping him immediately after the reception.
They gained 5 on the play, 2nd down and 5. Mayer, this time he goes to Number 84, Basil Meyer, gains a couple more yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd and short for the Cougars.
You know, getting back to your point, Eric, a lot of times they say, well, I'll tell you, if we can keep the offense off the field the whole time, we're doing our job. But basically, if the longer that offense is on the field, it means that they haven't scored any big plays. Obviously, you don't want to see them out there all day long, but I think you're right. If they can be content to have them go to a nickel and dime game, then they're not getting those big scores.
3rd and a yard, the power I double tight formation once again as the Cougars looking to run the football. And we've got some movement, and I think Minnesota Morris is going to be backed up 5, which could hurt.
I wouldn't doubt if we have offsetting penalties here. They do it every time.
Keep the might off Coach Molosky.
It's going to be a legal procedure against Morris.
Well,
You don't think so?
Well, from up here, it looked like we jumped, so they jumped.
Got illegal procedure, right guard moving.
Okay, so rather than 3rd and 1, it's 3rd down and 6, so that changes the complexion of your play calling.
That's a big play. That's a real big play. And I think it was heads up. I think Patache, he's blitzing an awful lot in there. And I think that what the right guard did was try to pick him up or pick up his man on a blitz, and he jumped. Good call, though. Excellent call.
Wide receivers back in. Kalkman, number 83, goes wide to the left. Huber, number 81, wide to the right. I formation behind Mayer. Key 3rd down and 6 situation for the Cougars.
Look for 86, Mike Ross on this one.
Mayer, he's got time. Now he's going to go down. No, he gets it away. But very little yardage. He probably loses yardage on the play. Hickman caught the pass. Wade Preston wrestled him down, and I tell you, Tom Rapps almost had himself a sack.
He sure did. That was a great play by Tom that time. I think he's getting a little bit mad at Mayer getting on the outside of him all the time. That time he kept him contained. You see the big difference. Mayer doesn't have any running room. He has no place to go, especially when there's good coverage in the secondary. You want to make sure you don't let him out of the pocket.
4th down and 6, and Jim Lind is slow in determining what he wants to do right now. He's talking to a couple of tight ends, and from all indications so far, he wants to go for it.
I think we're going to get a timeout here, at least to talk it over. There you have it.
Minnesota Morris will call timeout. We'll take this opportunity to call timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
Attention movie fans, don't settle for anything less than what World of Movies has to offer. World of Movies in South Superior has one of the finest movie selections in town. All the latest and best movies, great prices on RCA VCRs and camera equipment, special movie and VCR rental packages, and best of all, there's no membership fee for movie rental. World of Movies is located at 6101 Tower Avenue in South Superior. Stop by and see our new spacious store, then compare what we have to offer. You'll agree that when it comes to video, World of Movies is out of this world.
Quality. It's an ideal every business strives for. Quality is what your North Country Z-Bar dealers have been delivering for over 15 years. Z-Bar can shield your auto investment from the elements. Winter's salt and snow, springs, mud and rain, summer's dirt and sun, and fall's harsh winds. Now more than ever, it pays to protect your car, and Z-Bar has the tools and know-how to stop rust and to keep your paint and interior looking like new. At Z-Bar, quality isn't just an ideal, it's a reality.
Head coach Jim Lind has talked it over with his players, and the Cougars have come up with their decision. They are not going to go for the field goal. At 4th down and 6, they are going to go and try to get the first down. Mayer has time. Double pumps. Now he's going to run. He's down to the 20. He's going to be close to the first down. Let's see where they mark it. He got over the 20. So Dale Mayer showing very good presence of mind, saw his receivers were covered, and I believe he did get enough with his forward progress to get the first down. Or did he? Boy, it's close.
Well, it's going to be close anyway. I think he's a little bit short.
Well, I'll tell you what, with the coverage then the way it is, I think you really want to get your offensive receivers downfield far enough. Get your defensive receivers downfield far enough so that if indeed he has to run, he's got the defensive secondary back far enough. And that was very close.
About a half a length of a football. He got the first down, and a big one it is for the Cougars with only 4:12 left to go here in the second quarter. They have it 1st and 10 at the Bulldogs' 17-yard line. Mayer across the green. He's got Kalkman. Kalkman wrapped up immediately by Nevela. Kalkman's forward progress will take him to about the 10.
Well, Nevela's out there by himself, basically. He has to go man-to-man on that split person. And the thing is, he can go out, he can go up, he can do a slant in, he can do a square out, and you're just doing a man-to-man just like in basketball. And it's pretty tough to cover a timing pattern when the ball is thrown. And as soon as he looked that time, the ball was there. It's just a nicely thrown ball.
We get a chance here to thank Zenith Roofing and Sheet Metal, providing that boom truck right there, an excellent aerial view of the end zone.
Mayer going to run it again. This time he's not going to get anywhere. Mark Turcotte, who's had a pretty good first half, wraps him up, grabs a hold of his jersey, and horse-collared him down.
Well, it's a good thing he got there that time, too, because he got outside again, and that's when all that running room is left open.
A loss of 3 on the play, so it sets up about a 3rd down and 7 situation.
Well, we talked about a great matchup here, and you certainly have it. 7-7 with 2:51 to go before halftime. Just two great ball clubs battling out head-to-head here.
Mayer will roll right. It's tipped, intended for Feeblecorn, but Big Tom Rapps got one of his paws up there and changed the direction of it a little bit, so a big play for the Bulldog defense.
I think Tom is learning. He's been learning the hard way, but I'll tell you, it doesn't take too long before you get a little bit upset. You want to make sure you put all the heat on you can. It was a nice job that time by Tom Rapps, and that'll bring the field goal unit on.
Dale Mayer not happy on the sidelines, but he did get them in a pretty good position for a relatively easy field goal. They'll spot it at the 20, so it'll be a 30-yard attempt by Vra. He missed one earlier this afternoon. Kick is up, and it looks to be good. Right straight through, and the Cougars have taken a 10-7 lead on Vra's 30-yard field goal, and we'll be back at Griggs Field in just a moment.
Coming to Duluth, Amy Grant, Christian Pop's hottest star. November 4th at Duluth Arena. Amy Grant. Featuring Kelly Chapman and these three with special guest Bob Bennett. Reserved seat tickets are on sale at the Duluth Arena box office, select area Christian bookstores, and the usual in and out of town outlets. For group rates and more information, call 722-6877. Charged by phone, 722-4344.
Minnesota Morris, for the first time this afternoon, leads this football game on John Vra's 30-yard field goal, 10-7 with 2:27 left to go in the second quarter.
Well, anytime you have a team like Morris, or two teams like Morris and UMD getting together, you can expect that the extra point teams and the field goal teams are going to play a big part. And there you had it right there, took it down and got the 3 points. But UMD has to be a little bit sweet and the sour there, because at least they didn't give up the big score, they give up the 3.
Well, they still have a little time left. I'm sure they want to get some points on the board here and go into halftime either tied or leading this game. Corey Veach takes it on the run at the 15. Veach up to the 35-yard line, so a pretty good return, and the Bulldogs will negotiate 1st and 10 from that spot.
Well, you can look for, anytime they go in the air, you can look for some play-action passes from UMD. I would expect with 2:22, they might as well go ahead and air it out.
Mark Nielsen, number 12, the senior split end out of Superior, is in there, so that means they are going to sway away from the double tight end formation, which means that they probably are going to pass the football. He goes wide to the right. Molosky rolling right. Molosky, plenty of time. He throws, almost intercepted again. Jim Molosky just not having a very good day on the passing.
Well, at least that time he zipped the ball. I'm sure that Mo Sr. told him, if you're going to throw that ball, make sure you throw it on a line. He threw it hard that time. It's a good thing he did, because otherwise it would probably have been intercepted. He's not having a real good day. Credit Morris' secondary for that, too. They're getting in the passing lanes and doing a nice job.
That time, Doug Tigner, number 53, a defensive end, just drifted back and almost had himself an interception. Double reverse. Veach is going to get it. Veach around the right side, and he doesn't get much room this time. Mike Mader, number 54, the nose guard, who's had a pretty good afternoon, drags him down after a gain of only a couple.
Well, now if you're Morris, you've got to be looking at, as we see Corey Veach there, now if you're Morris, you've got to be looking at, well, if we can hold him this time, maybe we'll get the ball back in fairly decent field position, and we can go in for maybe another score. And if you're UMD, you got to make sure, well, let's at least get that first down. And with 151 ticking, I'm sure he's going to use as much of the clock as he can. See if he can get anything big here, and if he does, then he'll use his timeouts. Otherwise, let the clock go.
Nickel defense in there for the Cougars. Pete Stanger comes into the front four. He's their designated pass rusher. Play action fake. Molosky, he's in trouble, and Molosky's going to go down. He fumbles the football, and the Cougars, I believe, have it. No, they don't. Big break. I know the Cougars had a hand on it, but they couldn't handle it. Jim Molosky had nothing but trouble staring him in the face, and he almost coughed it up.
Well, he had that ball hanging way out there, too. If you're going to get wrapped up, you might as well make sure you don't come down with the ball. He had that ball sticking out there, got hit, and we're lucky that UMD recovered it, so they're going to have to punt. And Morris will have the ball back with about a little under a minute left.
Give credit to Rhett Dolly, the offensive tackle who recovered the football. The Cougars take a timeout because they still think they have some time left to put some more points on the board here.
Well, I tell you, anytime you get Dale Mayer and company out there, you can look for a score at any time. I'm sure they think they can get down, at least if not for a touchdown, at least down for a field goal, because they'd like to go in with a bigger lead than what we have. This is pretty much what we expected, a low-scoring game as far as UMD trying to control the ball and Morris going up in the air. 10-7, Morris leading with 1:07 left to go before halftime.
You know, in their only drive where they scored a touchdown, the Bulldogs just looked absolutely awesome on offense. They were controlling the line of scrimmage, getting 10, 11 yards a crack. But ever since that time when Minnesota Morris has come back and scored and really changed the tone of the game, the complexion, if you will, things have changed drastically.
I think you're right, Stephen. I think the big thing was the block punt. Craigset took a little bit too much time. If you want to take a look at when the pendulum started swinging back the other way, well, that was certainly it.
Well, Craigset is in there again. Minute 7 left to go before halftime. Cougars lead at 10-7, and they're looking to get more. Craigset gets a beauty away this time. High spiral. Veith takes it at his own 26, backpedals, gets away from one tackle. He's on his way, gets to the 35-yard line. So Rob Veith showing some fancy stepping there to avoid a couple of tackles. But he was finally dragged down by number 26, Todd Peterson.
Well, you know, it's always hindsight, but they were rushing everybody that time. That would have been a perfect time for a fake. They had nobody covering the middle. They've got about 50 yards in between. It would have been a great time to go ahead and fake a punt, especially when you have your second quarterback as your punter. But evidently they want to make sure they play it safe.
Well, the Bulldogs secondary is going to be busy now. 56 seconds left to go, and you just about know Dale Mayer is going to throw it up because he's in the shotgun formation. Over the middle, almost intercepted by Coughlin. He was going for Ross, the tight end. Ross turned the other way, and Coughlin had himself an interception, just could not hang on.
Well, he sure did. It was nice coverage that time. It looked like there was a screw-up in a pattern. He threw it right behind him, and almost a big break for UMD right there.
Stops the clock with 53 seconds left to go. Once again, you see Mayer in the shotgun. He's going to roll right this time, get away from the pressure. He buys a lot more time, throws, he's got Ross at the 45, and he's going to be out of bounds there. Close to a first down, I believe about a yard short. Out of bounds, stopping the clock with 44 seconds left to go.
Well, that's one thing that Mayer does really well, too, is he mixes his patterns. He'll roll out, he'll drop back. I don't think they're going to give him that one, though. I think they said he stepped out of bounds before he caught the pass, and so that'll be a break for UMD. But he mixes it up so well, and that time he's just kind of directing him go do a sideline pattern. Tremendous quarterback.
3rd down and 10 at their own 36. Once again from the shotgun. Once again, he rolls right. Plenty of time. This time he's going to run with the football. He's going to have a first down as he slides in at about the 47-yard line. Enough yardage for the first down. The clock is stopped with 33 seconds left to go.
It looks like Morris is going to maybe call a timeout here. Well, we talk an awful lot about there's the first down signal. We talk an awful lot about Mayer and the quarterback, but really a quarterback is only as good as his offensive line. And prior to this point, UMD has been getting to him quite a bit, and it's been a tough day, so he's had to roll out a lot more. So you can credit UMD's defense with that. Although it doesn't look like they're doing the job, at least he has to roll out because there's a lot of pressure.
UMD is kind of in a sticky situation now where they would like to blitz, but then again, you don't want to blitz too often because a guy like Mayer, if he gets the time, gets a key block, he can pick you apart.
Right. And you're looking at the matchups afterwards. I mean, at the games remaining, you take a look at UMD, they have Northern left, and then they have Bemidji. Bemidji is going to be a very tough ball club. You look at Morris, and they have Southwest, which should be a pretty easy game for them, and they move on to Moorhead. So really the last two games of the season with Morris and UMD are going to really dictate who's going to win, because Moorhead could come out. It could be a three-way tie. You really don't know what's going to happen, so you have to make sure if you're in a ball game, a tight ball game like this, 10-7, you want to make sure that you get every point possible and that you come out on top.
There's a look at Jim Lind on the sidelines. He would like his team to put more points on the board before the intermission. But right now the Cougars have a lot of yardage to make up. They have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 47, but only 33 seconds left to go. Mayer will stay in that shotgun formation. Gives him just a couple more seconds to really see the coverage. This time he's going to roll left. Break, putting some pressure on him. Mayer throws it. He's got his man, Huber. Wrapped up immediately, but Huber has the ball out of bounds at the 45 in Bulldog territory.
Well, that sure has been successful for him. Not only, and that's a rollout, but that's a planned rollout because he has blockers out there. It makes it tough because you have to have enough guys back for coverage, and yet you want to put pressure on, because if not, it's pretty smart, because if not, you can run and get out of bounds. So Morris is doing a good job here of utilizing what little time they have left to try and get back into field goal position with 25 seconds left, and they're leading 10-7.
2nd down and 3 at the 45. The important part, though, only 25 ticks left on the clock. This time the handoff goes to Feeblecorn, and he's going to be dropped for a loss on the play. DeRung 70 tripped him up, so a big play by the Bulldog defense that time. 3rd down and 4. Clock is running, 9 seconds. Now it looks like we're going to go into the locker room at halftime. They're not going to score any more points. Minnesota Morris will take a 10-7 lead into the locker room at halftime. And I think Minnesota Morris has to be pretty darn happy considering the way things went in the early going.
Well, in the early going, it looked like UMD was just going to pound